You're loud and clear.
Okay, Michael, you should have a character sheet in your journal.
(10-4). Should I just edit the name, pretty much?
Yeah, edit a name and then fill in your roles if you've done them, backstory or whatever.
Or that's fine, because like I said, I've already done that on D&D Beyond, but I can fill in the stuff I need to.
Okay, excellent. Okay, we got 12 minutes. I am going to deafen myself and go grab, or mute myself and then go grab something to drink. I'll be back.
Hello. I probably did bad. My backstory is over 8,000 characters.
Jesus.
Oops.
Have you been writing that all day? Is that what went on today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yesterday. Let's run it through a word counter and see how much it is. Well, it's not that bad actually. It's only 2,106 words. Hello.
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 There you go.
Don't leave.
Yes, James, I have the other speaking stone.
Okay, yeah, Galabon hasn't responded. I asked for a bunch of stuff from Abinadom, but I don't know what all he's letting me take. So I don't I don't know what I have yet.
I gave Thalador, I gave him the Goggles of Night and the Speaking Stone and about 150 gold. I thought that was reasonable.
Yeah, I gave like 200 gold, I think. I'll have to pull it up. But I gave him I tried to give him all the stuff that I was going to use in the last one, but didn't get a chance to. I would have given the necklace of fireballs, but that was too big.
And you want to let me steal it?
Well, no one can use it.
Are you sure?
You didn't hire Doors of Fear to steal it. Doors of Fear could have stole it. I mean, but he really wouldn't do that to his buddy, though, because Abinadom's kind of like his friend, so he wouldn't steal from him. But for the right price, maybe.
No way.
You wouldn't allow me to steal it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to use it in this one.
No.
Why not?
Let's see.
Yeah, at first level, the most you can have is an uncommon item. The game, by the way the tiers are set up, it doesn't let you have rare items until you hit level 5, tier 2.
So mean. I just wanted to steal it for like a shiny.
So Galabon, did you see my all the stuff I was asking for?
I have seen some of these things. Yes, I see. I saw that you kept changing it, and then it was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until the day of and then look at it because.
Oh, I sent you a final. Yeah, I sent you a final version really late. Yeah, 2 days ago, or whatever. And so
3 a.m. on the 27th is when it arrived to me.
Yeah, that's when I sent it. I was up late with my son. He's diabetic, and I was dealing with numbers and stuff, so I was up late. But but yeah, I put at the bottom. I put a list of all the items I wanted to give. So just let me know what I can have and what I can't.
Okay. So what we might do in this case is all right, everybody. I have 8 p.m. I'm gonna do something a little bit different tonight. Instead of completely turning off the background music. I am just going to turn down the background music and leave it up there. Since we're mainly going through character creation tonight, welcome everybody to the game. I know that Ken is not going to be able to be here tonight because he is having surgery tomorrow. Poor guy. It's surgery due to a workman's comp that he was trying to get scheduled. Hello, Goonie. Welcome to the stream. It was surgery that he was trying to get scheduled since about January or February, and then the world all fell apart. And so he's been having to wait until they say, oh, okay, now you can have surgery. I guess in a lot of places, if it was not life-threatening, they weren't doing any surgeries the last couple of months. So he's finally able to get that scheduled and get it done tomorrow. So hopefully that will all go well. He and I worked a little bit on his character ahead of time. So, Goonie, yes. Wish maybe you could too. But
No.
we have another one shot coming up in June. That I think. So I'll keep you.
So the point of that conversation, Goonie, is never say die.
Correct. Correct.
He went there. Just Vernon. Yep, you went there.
Couldn't live that one way.
No. Surprised you didn't say Mikey.
Well, I got it into the context because I'm an improv expert.
That's fair.
Okay. So looks like we have Ivy, James, Chris, Vern, and Michael with us tonight. Let me start off by asking if there's anybody who has a short allowance of time tonight. If so, we can start with that person on doing individual stuff. But before we start all the individual stuff, let me ask, did everybody have a chance to roll stats, and does everybody have a character in their journal? I think there are 6 of you that have now joined the game, and I have assigned characters to all of you. I think the person maybe that we're missing is Wesley. And there's a blank character waiting for him, but until he joins the game, I can't assign it to him in Roll20. So everybody has dice scores, decided what you're going to do with stats. Any questions about how to get dice scores? Any questions about what's a viable or non-viable character? Questions on those things? Okay, good. Well, then back to the original question. Is there anybody that would like to be the first to kind of go through the individual character creation process?
What's that like? What's the character creation process?
Well, there's a few questions, and there's some based on what I know about your background, from your backstory. There is going to be a little hook that I will give you. that ties in with your backstory as to why you are where you are, to meet up with the other characters before they start this journey.
Okay. Well, if there's nobody short on time, I can do it.
Okay. Well then, let's.
I did one not going first.
I shall set the standard.
I can't even say I'm first because Ken already did it with you. So you know what? I did not going second.
All right, so Vern, in roll 20, your or in D&D Beyond.
Roll 20.
Okay, roll 20. Your character is, which one is yours? Oh, it's Osprey. It's Osprey. Okay.
You can't forget about the Osprey. Come on.
Well, I was like, because it's just all lists by character names, and it's gonna take me a while to figure out who's who. Okay. So, okay. I'm not gonna read your backstory out loud because I don't know how much of it you want it for me to know, and how much you want to reveal to the other players during the course of gameplay.
Well, I actually put that thing in the. I mean, so much of it is not pertaining, I think, but I actually put it in the bio and info stuff. So I'm not hiding it because I don't think that we're going to do too much with it. If it was a homebrew, I might hide some of that. But it's like no, maybe if you're going through a module here and there, then you put it up there to make it easier to interact with the guy.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, I am going to give Osprey inspiration off the bat, and I'll tell everybody why. Because I asked you guys, and it might have been me being unclear, but I asked you guys for a total of 3 NPCs, 1 ally, 1 rival, and 1 contact, and Vern went significantly above and beyond. So that gives me a lot of interesting NPCs to tie story hooks to.
Oh yeah, and there's a few more if you want them. I was asking you a couple of weeks ago, did you want anything in particular? I told you I reached the level where the guy starts writing himself.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, now I know what this guy is and what can be added and how.
Okay. Now there is one thing where it's fine to make this stuff up, because I think the Forgotten Realms is a large enough world where more things can exist. But when I was asking about a faction, I was asking more specifically about one of the 5 factions, and I will tell you about those and see, unless you already know what the 5 major factions are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read that. I just didn't put it in. So did you just now read it, or did you read it earlier?
I just now read it.
Okay. So you read the whole thing though?
Yes, I am skimming it.
Okay, so you haven't got the detail. There is a group called the Archon Help Agency.
Okay.
That's got Harper written on it.
Okay.
It's the Archon Help Agency is good things happening to good people. So
okay.
It is kind of Harper, but if you're a Harper and you know where there's a group of people like him,
you're
telling me you're not gonna. Of course, you're gonna talk to him.
Oh, of course.
So it's like yeah, these people are not exactly the same, but also also you have these. You know, of course, the Harpers are networked with these people.
Sure. Okay, and that's excellent. I like that this is a sort of a custom outside, but it falls neatly into alignment or into alliance with one of the existing major factions, because then that gives us again something a little bit interesting to work with. So
there's another one. There's another one that's looser. One of the contacts, I think it's in the contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it's not. It's not even in the context. Hold on. Did I put her? Not put her in allies. Lind is militant.
Okay.
And this whole thing is under tier.
Right.
So that points to that Lind is probably in or associated with the Gauntlet.
Correct. Order of the Gauntlet.
But Lind is not. Lind is kind of an outsider in this little set of characters, but they know her. There's their story there. Lind was originally sent to kill Osprey's father, or her mission required her to kill Osprey's father, and she went about trying to do that. But since became friends with the family. So she's the harder case of all of these characters that are in this set, and it's probably very militant and in with Tyr, and so yeah, hit hard, hit strong. So Osprey knows somebody who knows.
Okay.
Gone people.
Good. Okay, excellent. That answers most of those questions, and then there is the matter of okay, so we're gonna say Finn or is Ace okay, and you went with SMR. That's cool. I like that.
Or especially in Osprey's case, ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR. Yes. And Platin. Okay. Okay. Now, as for the story hooks, okay, with a character like yours, oh, yes. Osprey, you have been troubled in your dreams of late. Every 5 nights, you have a strange sequence of apocalyptic dreams. The world is destroyed by cold, by choking fumes, by lightning storms, by waves of acid, and by horrible fire. Each time the dream ends with 10 evil eyes glaring at you from the darkness. You feel a strange compulsion to travel towards Baldur's Gate. Perhaps in Baldur's Gate, you will find something that is an answer to the riddle of your dreams. I'm going to put this in a PM to you in Discord so that you have this. Okay. Okay. And when you reach Baldur's Gate, you go to the I'm not going to try to put too many words into your mouth, but there are many of the major temples there. Would you check in or stop by the Temple of Tyr on arriving in Baldur's Gate, do you think?
Most likely, given that doesn't seem to be a big agenda.
Okay. All right. You go there and you encounter a human who is a cleric in the Temple of Tyr. And this cleric is by the name of human by the name of Hoban Stuv. Yes. Cleric in Temple of Tyr. Okay. And Brother Stuv, Baldur's Gate Temple.
Stuv you.
Yeah. And Tyr is just gonna spread his stuff over all of you. Okay. Whoops. That wasn't quite right. Oh, phooey. There we go. Brother Stuv says, Sir, what shall I call you? He clearly recognizes you're a paladin, so he's going to use the honorific sir, but he doesn't know your name. So.
My name is Osprey.
Sir Osprey. It's a pleasure to see you here in Baldur's Gate in these troubled times. What brings you to us?
I am seeking for guidance from the Almighty.
Yes. Tell me, we've had a number of people come for guidance. May I ask, was it something from your dreams that has troubled you?
Correct.
Well, tell me. And he begins to lead you over to a refectory where there's refreshments, there's water, there's wine, there's benches to sit on, there's food, bread, fruit, cheese, that kind of stuff. He wants to lead you over and let you sit down while you talk. He says, tell me about these dreams of yours. I have heard of several different kinds that have troubled our members.
Different kinds?
Yes.
I hope that theirs are better than mine. Mine are about the world being destroyed in many ways. The evil eyes.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have heard that. Our senior cleric has preyed on these and on some of the other strange dreams that have been reported. There is no answer from Tyr. But on the matter of these evil eyes and the world ending, Tyr has spoken that we should send those who see these dreams toward the town of Greenest. Greenest is in the rolling hills, a pastoral little town. Hard to imagine what sort of evil could lurk there, but this is what Tyr has said. If you do not have means, or if you are seeking for others who may have shared similar visions, then you might take on with one of the caravan companies that hires out and carries goods up and down the Sword Coast. There are caravans heading south nearly every day, and it shouldn't be too long before one is ready to leave, and they could certainly use a good sword arm like yours. And it would be a way to earn some coin while you seek after what is troubling you.
Did you say you saw these others?
I have spoken to several others within the last 10 days. None of them are here at the temple now. They have all either left on foot for the green fields and the town of Greenest, or they have gone to take on with a caravan company themselves.
If the Almighty is calling us, that is big. Great things must be happening.
Yes, I am uncertain what, but I only hope that for the sake of the people of Greenest, the dreams are reaching you in time, that you can help them from whatever threatens them.
Oh, that's okay. I'm good at racing.
Well, Osprey, you are welcome to refresh yourself here. We have baths for bathing, and we have barracks for sleep, and the refectory serves 3 square meals a day. If you should decide to stay longer than a single night, the brothers will ask that you contribute to some of the help around the temple, but your first night, just rest from the road.
Oh, thank you very much. I am very at home in the Temple of the Almighty. We are all one big family, yes?
Yes. Our We are one family, and like a family, we all have our roles. Some of us with the sword, some of us with the spells, some of us with the blessings, some of us with the big hammers. But we all serve to bring the justice of Tyr and smite evil where it stands.
To bring justice. That is why
Justice. Well, good. I pray that Tyr will guide you safely and will give you honor in all of your battles ahead. He pronounces a little, one of those little traditional blessings that they do in the churches. He just kind of lays his hand on your head and pronounces a little blessing, and then he gets up and he goes back off about his business, leaving you to to whatever your own devices are.
Okay.
All right. And we will come back to Osprey a little bit later. Let us see. Who is interested in being next?
I'll go if you don't have any other volunteers.
Okay, and that's Mulek.
Yes, Mulek.
Okay. All right, so let's go take a look at the... Oh, okay, that's probably on this sheet here.
The last document I sent you that
Yep.
Got a lot of red. Those were all just the changes that I'd made.
Okay. Aha. Nice. Okay, comes with... Okay. Okay. Ah ha ha. There we go. Da 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 da. Aha. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay. 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 Da-da-da. Okay, yeah. I tell you what, because of the multiple levels of spells that are in a Benadam spell book, he can leave it in a place that will keep it safe until Mulek would be ready for it.
Okay.
So either we can say that a Benadam is sort of watching Mulek from afar, or that Abinadom has, in his advanced studies, has learned how to put some sort of ward on that spell book and keep it hidden until a certain triggering event happens, until Mulek learns X,
Sure.
gains spells of X level of magic, and then that triggers some sort of message that will go to Mulek and reveal where to go find something that Abinadom has left for him.
Okay.
So yeah, we can figure out something like that. But yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to allow you a total of 2 potions.
Okay.
Just
tell me which ones and I'll.
Well, I'll
say,
how about the potion of cold resistance, and then you can choose one other.
All right, so just those first 2 then.
Okay, just those first 2.
Yeah.
All right. And you realize that other one is probably going to be overkill for a level 1 character, right?
Yeah.
If you need.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Then let's see. I have to look at that magic item and see what it would do for you if it was not.
It wouldn't do anything until I multi-class.
Okay. 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 Yeah, all right. So okay, now
if I don't ask, I don't ask.
who now would this also be something from Abinadom?
Item number 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, he altered it. Yeah, he.
Okay. All right. So here's what we'll say. We'll say that Mulek. Mulek's always been impressed with Abinadom's magic, and so when Abinadom goes to give him this, he says, "This is a magical hat that will protect you." And Mulek is like, "Oh, cool." But then it's like nothing happens, and he's like, "Okay, I think Uncle Abinadom is just messing with me."
Abinadom calls Doors of Fear on the speaking stone. Hey, I tricked my nephew.
So, all right. And let's see, what is that? That's a. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the rest of those items are all right.
Okay.
So yeah, Ixnay on the spell book just yet.
Yep.
And then the those 2 potions.
Yep.
But I think the other things are fine.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So now, given that, let me take a look at...
So you saw my potential hook if you wanted to use it to bump into another future member of the party. So you can either use that or not.
Yeah.
Somehow, but
Yes. Well, and I saw the one thing you left open that might become something with the
and that too.
Okay. Actually, I think we're going to use your rival as your hook.
Okay.
Okay. Which means I'm going to give you a name.
Okay.
And I'll send this to you in your in a private message so you can put this in. Okay. All right. You learn, or you hear a rumor that what's your friend's name there? You learn that Vatora's murderer is a half-elf named Talus.
Okay.
And you learn that Talus has joined, and this also ties in a little bit with your friendship with Abinadom, has joined a strange group of dragon cultists. And your investigations into this cult have led you to the city of Baldur's Gate. And you know that you must try to find and stop this Talus.
Okay.
So that's now PM to you. Okay. And then let me go. Let's say this is James's character. And the name is Milik. And that is... Okay. Okay. Milik is artificer. Okay. Human. Good. And you when you get to Baldur's Gate, you learn that you pick up the trail of this Talus. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. As okay, Baldur's Gate. You must stop. Okay. You learn that Talus was poking around in some of the caravan companies that operate out of Baldur's Gate. And she was asking a number of questions about their caravans that were headed south. And so you get to a caravan company called the Green Company. And in Green Company, you'll meet a woman who's kind of like the scheduler, or what we would think of as maybe the HR that decides who's going to be on different caravans. And her name is Zaffray Fernspark. She's a human. Whoops. And she tells you that we could use somebody with your skills on this next caravan that's going to be heading south. It's going to make several stops. It's got to go through a place called Greenest, and it goes through several other towns on its way down past Candlekeep and further down the coast. And then it goes inland. But you could make a good bit of coin if you rode on this caravan. What do you say?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. I'm looking for work, and I'm looking for a little extra money, and this will help. I think this will be a win-win for both of us.
Okay. All right. So she says there's a tavern that is right across the square over there. This tavern is called the Lucky Dragon. The Lucky Dragon Tavern. They have some of the best ale in Baldur's Gate. Go over there. The rooms are cheap. You can have a good meal there. Get a bed there for tonight, and then we're off at an hour after sunrise tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, sounds good. And so Mulek heads off to the Lucky Dragon Tavern. Okay, so who would like to be next?
If Ivy don't want to go, I'll go.
Oh.
No.
Okay. All right. And Michael, which is are you Faldor?
Faldor, yes.
Faldor. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I had some good rolls.
Yeah. Okay. And now, did you have a backstory other than what you put on the bio? Oh, you have something in D&D Beyond, right?
Yes, all my stuff is in D&D Beyond.
Okay, let me go. I will go to the campaign there.
For some reason, it doubled my personality traits. That was interesting.
We hear you.
Yeah, we hear you, Ivy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
You're a little low, but I think you're away from the microphone.
Okay, description. Okay. Okay.
Only thing I didn't add was enemies, because I was like, who, besides the city guard, who would really hate him? That's the question.
Well, I'm sure there's something that somebody would have. Okay. Somebody would have gotten, he would have done something that would have upset somebody. If you're a thief, maybe even if you stole the heart of a girl whose father thought that she should be wearing bobby socks until she was 30, then then
Yeah, it makes sense.
maybe you would have gained the ire of somebody that way. So let's think a little bit about that. So you're in good with the Phandalin Thieves Guild and the Phandalin Adventurers Guild, sometimes which of they overlap.
Good God.
Uncle Finn.
And you see, there is an organization that runs out of Phandalin, or that sprang up in Phandalin shortly after. I think we talked about it a little bit last week.
Yeah, Doors of Fear is his uncle. The backstory
Right.
is Baldur Tamalid, his uncle took him in to, pretty much like a ward. It's like, okay, I felt bad. My brother died. We killed the freaking dragon. Now I kind of went. It sounds bad, but I kind of went the safe route. To really get in depth to a character. And it was like, okay. It's like, okay. I was like, well. So Uncle took him in, taught him the ropes, said, okay, kid, I'm going to give you a trade, or he'd say it in a British accent, but I'm going to give you something that can make you money, that can take care of you when I'm not around. So, also being head of the Phandalin Thieves Guild is not a bad thing either when your uncle runs it, So it all comes into play and works out real well.
Okay, yes. The organization I was trying to think of last week is called the Red Brands. And the Red Brands were led by a wizard, and that wizard went by the name of Glassstaff, because he had a staff that was made of glass. And the Glassstaff had a bodyguard, and that bodyguard was a half-orc, and that half-orc's name was Ronag. And one of the things you did for the Thieves Guild is you managed to You managed to distract Ronag by getting him over to the Stonehill Inn in Phandalin and playing dice with him. Your uncle Dorzafir had given you 50 gold to use to play dice with, and your job was just to keep Ronag occupied for 3 hours one evening. You knew your uncle was up to something, but he was real cagey about what it was. And so you did indeed keep Ronag over at the inn, and you gradually lost a little bit more and a little bit more of your gold, and he started thinking he was going to clean your clock. And then you, in the last few minutes, you made the turn and you started rolling really hot. You were not using crooked dice as far as you know it. You were even using his dice, but they started just rolling super hot for you, unnaturally so. And you won back all of your money, and you won 20 gold of Ronag's money, which annoyed him. Then when he got back to the Red Brand hideout, he found that somebody had killed Glassstaff and 4 other members of the Red Brands that were there. He was supposed to be there as bodyguard, but you had distracted him. You'd taken him away from his job. He got his boss killed. And then that meant that he was in turn marked for death by the Glassstaff's boss. And he attacked you. Ronan attacked you, left you for dead, fled out of town. But you have since heard that he has learned that you didn't die. You're alive. And he holds a grudge. So your enemy is a half-orc named Ronag. I'm going to put that in a private message to you over here.
10-4, and I also added it to my D&D Beyond.
Okay. Oh, come on here.
I guess Uncle wasn't too happy about that.
Oh, well, Uncle actually felt a little guilty about it because nothing was supposed to happen to you. You did everything you were supposed to do. Somehow Ronag slipped past the people that were supposed to be watching from the Thieves Guild to be able to attack you. But fortunately, he didn't stay around long enough because he was on the run from the Glassstaff's boss. And you don't know what became of him or where he went, but word has gotten back to you that Ronag is out there and he's heard that you're still alive, and he's not happy about it. Was part of the Red Brand gang in Phandalin, rivals of Phandalin Thieves Guild. Okay. All right, so that's there. Now let's see. What would Oh. Yes. something perfect for you, given your character's heritage. A dragon killed your father. Yes, your uncle and his adventuring companions paid that dragon back, but in the final fight that they had with that dragon, they found humanoids that bore tattoos that were signs of a long rumored, kind of almost thought extinct cult of the dragon. And that it was a little bit disturbing to them that there were signs of these cultists around. Now, for many years after that, nobody heard much of anything. But in the last few months, word has reached you that there have been sightings of people bearing the tattoo with the mark of the cult of the dragon in Baldur's Gate. And so you are, you are determined to make sure that your father's death gets avenged multifold. If there are people out there, allied with evil dragons, you want to stop them, and you want to stop the dragons they're allied with. And from talking to people who've actually killed a dragon, you know that despite what all the myths and stories say, dragons may be powerful, but they can be put down. You kind of have it in your mind that you want to go dragon hunting. So your reason for going to Baldur's Gate is long-standing revenge.
That's fair. Sounds about right in the back of my mind.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put this, they killed your father.
Because, Uncle talked it up so much,
Yeah.
Uncle Finn always sung the great stories.
I was gonna say, years later, it was like 7 dragons, and
Yeah.
which Finn single-handedly beat one of them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Instead of lying down unconscious the whole fight.
I was going to say, Uncle Finn spoke of great many things, and the more drinks I got him, the more story he told. And it kept getting longer and longer for some reason. He would go into like 3-chord stanzas, and he'd go into the great overtures, and he would have great bridges, and just everything would flow. I couldn't say Uncle Finn wasn't a showman. He always made Uncle laugh. When you got Uncle Benedom around, it was great. They would just play tricks on Finn all the time. Thought I heard my uncle say that Uncle Benedom played a trick on his nephew. It's okay. He shouldn't feel bad because Uncle played the same trick on me. I got this great hat for you, and it's supposed to be very magical. Yeah, I found out it was just a plain little straw hat. It was wonderful.
He's not a nephew, by the way.
Thanks, Turbo, for dropping by. Not sure how long ago that was. I just noticed that Turbo had popped into the chat. Okay. So, your travels get you to Baldur's Gate, and the rumors and stories that you pick up lead you to the area of the city where all the merchant caravans are. And you are spotted wandering around, talking to people. You're spotted by a woman by the name of, I just put her name down here before, Zafre Fernspark. And she waits until you get close to Green Company's storefront, and she just stands there, crosses her arms beneath her breasts, and she sort of gives you this appraising look, and she says, "Don't be getting any ideas, lad. These wagons are guarded safe. I can see the sticky on your fingers all the way from over here. But what would you say if I were to pay you to keep people from robbing the wagons on the road south?"
Sometimes there's not anything wrong with making an honest coin. With my fingers twisted behind my back, twirling my dagger.
And she says, "You've got the look of one who knows the best way of catching a thief in the night. Would I miss my guess?"
Well, the saying's never been said before. Takes one to know one.
Well, as long as you're one working for, as you say, an honest coin, and helping to protect the cargo, and getting paid well for it. The attacks by bandits are up in the last month. We're having to double the guard and pay double the usual rate. 2 gold a day.
This is where it's about to get fun. That was out of character. Make it 6.
6?
My skills don't come lightly.
6? Okay. Make a persuasion check. Let's see if she even bites anything on that.
Dang, too bad I don't have advantage.
Yeah.
Aww.
She looks at you and she says, "Ha. I'll wager that if you had 6 gold and I had 4, that I could be holding all 10 before you even knew it was missing."
Ooh, I know a way to test that. Does she have a coin? Can I see like a coin pouch around her belt or waist or anything?
She's got a she looks like she's some sort of officer of the company, so she's got a one of those longer pouches, but you know, sometimes it might hold coins, sometimes it might hold documents, rolled up documents, but it's kind of along her belt.
Okay, so I want to play just a little bit of shenanigans real quick, get this all rolling, literally.
Okay.
So I want to walk up next to her, like I'm going to whisper in her ear and say, "Wouldn't you like to know?" and try to take that off her belt without her noticing.
Okay, so make me a sleight of hand check.
Oh my God, what's with these? I'm rolling with advantage and it still sucks. What in the world?
And
Oh, I got caught for sure, unless she had to roll higher than a 12, which I don't think would be hard.
so
All I have to say is probably uh-oh.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would give it back to her. You know, it's like a job. It's like, I'm thinking of it as he's trying to weasel more, kind of like his uncle. Think about it, like he learned a lot from his uncle, put it that way. So you're thinking, okay, uncle was persuasive, not Finn. Uncle Dorsafir was very persuasive and could get what he wanted. He's like, oh, I'm going to try that. And he just falls flat on his face. It's perfect. It's, kid coming into the world. Oh, I'm not my uncle.
You're just creating a new hook for us. Next week is task number 1, break Baldur out of prison.
There you go. But I wouldn't really steal it from her. I'd give it back to her. It was just when she said that I'd have all 10 gold in my hand, that also fits his character. It's like, don't try me.
Okay, so she's gonna roll this, and I'm gonna roll it
Not
secretly
persuasive,
over
bro.
here.
Not
Tell the listener
persuasive.
to move.
Tell that to
Come
your
on.
mother, bro.
I could just hear Uncle Finn in the background in my head going, "You can't do it. Don't do it, Baldur. Don't do it."
20 plus this.
Or he says, "Good God."
The
Okay.
good God thing happens a lot, I'm guessing.
Actually, as you step up to her, luck is just smiling down on you, because as you step up to her, there's a crash off to her other side, and she turns her head to look in the direction of that crash, and you slip the pouch off of her, and she doesn't seem to notice it right away.
Oh my God. Hold on. So she does that. I tap her on the shoulder and I said, "You said you'd have all 10 coins, right?" And I'm bouncing the pouch up in my hand a little bit. He says kind of big, so I'm holding it and I'm like, that feels like there's probably 25 gold in this pouch. So make it 6 and I'll take the job.
And she says, "Well, son, I could turn you in to the constabulary for stealing from a citizen of Baldur's Gate, or I could offer you 4 gold a day and take my pouch back, and we'll call it even."
I'll take the job. Here, lady.
Okay, very good. And then she says, "Nicely done, young man." And then she tells you that there's a tavern across the square called the Lucky Dragon, and that the caravan will leave hour after sunrise tomorrow, and tells you they have good ale, good food, cheap rooms, cheap but clean rooms, and sends you over there. Now, would Baldur go in that direction?
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
How long have I been on the road? Probably, a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, probably quite a bit of time.
Yeah, he needs a drink and just to relax,
Okay.
especially after almost getting arrested.
Yes. Now, Mulek and Baldur, given the connections that both of you have to members of the original party, do you think would you all have crossed paths before this at some point, or do you think not?
Well, that's a good question. I just know that Uncle gave Baldur, or if I'm talking in character, Uncle gave me a speaking stone. I don't know why. He just said, "Hold on to it. You might need it."
And you can
Okay.
respond to this message.
No, he didn't teach me that trick.
Well, that's probably how he told you. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, he said if somebody's talking to it, I can respond to it.
Okay. All right. So I was just gonna say, like, if when you walk in there, it's like, oh, hey, I know that guy. But if
That's up to James. James, have we seen each other before?
Well,
I mean, if you've been around, it just depends.
so my initial thought on that was, as I was fleeing the rival, because I had found out that they knew where I was at, that Abinadom gave me some items, and he said, here's a sending stone, or a speaking stone, that will, as you travel to the south, you can reach out to my pal Dorsifer, and he may be able to assist you. And my thought was, I was going to use that stone, and instead of Dorsifer answering, you would answer, and I'd be like, oh, what's going on?
Sure.
Or Dorsifer still had it and said, hey, I can't help you, but I'm giving the stone to my nephew. He's heading to the south as well. Why don't you look him up and you guys can travel together, or something along those lines, something that maybe we can work out.
That works. That's fine. I mean, Dorsifer would pass that off if he knew that, Thalidor was going after his rival, and plus, just to go out on his own. Yeah, that works for me. So yeah, I would know you by name. So, and I would have the stone on me. So if you were just thinking, well, he should be here in a couple days, let me send a message, and then as I get ready to walk in the bar, the stone starts to vibrate, or doesn't it vibrate or rattle? I can't remember what it does. It puts off like a weird thing, and I pick it up. Hello?
Yeah. Or another option is, if we end up for some reason getting put in the same caravan, or we're together, and I decide I'm going to give Dorsifer a call to see if he can help me with something, and all of a sudden the guy next to me is like, what's going on? And he picks it up and, who is this?
That'll work. That would be funny.
We're like, well, what's going on?
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay, so that's cool. You guys, at the moment, you each have the other half of a matched pair of sending stones, but you don't realize you have it because you're not using them yet. Okay.
Yeah, Thalidor was told, hey, here's a stone you can reach out to Abinadom for help if you ever need it. And I've got the stone reaching out to Dorsifer for help if I ever need it.
Almost like a friend. That would be our uncles, though.
Now our new characters haphazardly reach out to each other and don't realize what's going on. It takes a while to figure out what's going on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so now we have 3 of our folks set up. And this is gonna be Michael's character. Okay, and that was... Oops. That was... Baldur. And Baldur is a human rogue. Okay, rival is a half-orc. Ronag. Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. Came because he heard activity by the cult of the dragon in Baldur's Gate. Okay. All right. So, let me just verify on the... Okay, we've got Chris and we've got Ivy. Which one of you guys wants to go next?
It sounds like we've already read most of these. Am I wrong in assuming?
I have read some of them, and others I know people have been working on them, so I'm going back and double checking them just to be sure.
Okay, I didn't put mine on there, so I didn't know if I needed to go last because you had no idea what mine's going to be about.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can do that if Ivy is ready. Ivy, are you ready?
I'm ready, but you feel like reading 2,100 words?
Sure, we can do that. Now, did you send
I have
that?
it in jot notes as well. It's on D&D Beyond.
Okay, all right. Then I will go over there, and I will...
I'm just a tiny bit preoccupied because my cat is insanely hyper all day today, so...
You guys had any changing weather up there?
Yeah, it's been getting a lot more sunnier lately, and that's real nice, but... I like my cold too, like, come on.
Well, I was just thinking because a lot of times it seems like cats and dogs respond to, changes in the environment that people don't notice so much. And I was just wondering if that was what had happened there with your... Okay.
That might be it. I really never thought about it, but...
Okay, description notes. There we go. Okay. We have... Sending torment. Yes. Oh, yes.
I have it in a little jot notes at the bottom and other, if that's...
Yep.
Don't want to read it all.
No, I've
Well, right now, anyhow.
Here. Yes, and it's part of it is coming back to me because we talked about this before. I really like the concept you came up with here. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh goodness. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. There we go. Okay. Here's something that I am going to suggest. That you noticed, in addition to getting a name that they call themselves, this group of hunters that you encountered that one time, you noticed that they had strange looking tattoos on them that were very distinctive. Like 3 of the groups, or 3 out of the group had this tattoo. And later when you met the traveler, you described that tattoo to the traveler, and the traveler told you that that was a sign of something called the Cult of the Dragon, and that the people who have that worship evil dragons, and they are bad people who, it doesn't surprise him, your story about what they did, because they're bad people that just like to cause others misery and pain. And so over time, you have now heard that the Cult of the Dragon has been spotted operating in Baldur's Gate. And you know that there are several cities along the Sword Coast, Baldur's Gate being one of them, Neverwinter being another, Waterdeep probably being the largest and most famous of the 3, that where there's people from all over the known world are there. So Tabaxi being there is not terribly out of place. Maybe more unusual than an elf or a dwarf, but still, you're gonna be able to go there and not always be having to look out over your shoulder. You can maybe take up the hunt for the people that hurt those that you care about.
Chips.
So, huh?
Sorry, ignore me. Continue.
So, well, I was just gonna say, so that could be a hook for you getting to Baldur's Gate.
Later on, she would travel to Baldur's Gate anyhow, so yeah.
Okay. All right. And with your gift of storytelling and kind of natural charm of people that just they sort of tend to gravitate to you, and they wind up telling you more than they think they're going to tell you. And you track the activity to the area where the caravans are, and you find out that they've been asking about, in particular, this Cult of the Dragon has been asking about caravans heading south. And so you run into this same human that the other folks have run into, Zafre Fernspark, and she tells you that she's hiring people for the caravan south that leaves tomorrow, and that with your talents, you could keep the spirits of the workers on the caravan up, and she will pay you 2 gold plus whatever extra people want to give you while you're on the caravan to basically play songs around the campfires at night and keep the spirits of the caravan guards and workers up. So, would you be interested in taking that job?
My talent is in your service.
All right. She is very pleased about that. And she says that the folks on tomorrow's green caravan are going to be very, very lucky indeed to have a cool cat with your talents helping them out. Okay.
I'm a cool cat.
And she will tell you about the Lucky Dragon Tavern over there. Say that she imagines you can make some good coin tonight performing there, and that they have clean rooms, good rates, square meals, and the caravan will leave an hour after sunrise tomorrow.
First thing she does when she goes there is, can I get some fish and chips already? Please and thank you.
Oh yes, they can accommodate that. And let's see, Baldur, where you're sitting at your table, and Mulek, where you're sitting at your table, you see this tabaxi walk in. And what would your character be wearing? How does she dress?
Should currently be in like a little cloak, just something light, nothing fancy or like nothing's shabby either. Like she's well dressed, but she doesn't stand out. Almost like civil clothes, just a little bit of fancy, but not too much. Little bells around her ears.
Okay. And describe your dulcimer. Is there anything that is any particular flair or anything about that?
I actually had a photo, but I need to find it.
Okay.
So just give me a moment on that.
Sure. And circling back to Osprey, after you've spent a little bit of time at the temple, you hear that there's really good ale and pretty good food over at an inn in the merchant's quarter called the Lucky Dragon. And I'll tell you that when you first got off the road and sat down, it was nice to have somebody offer you water and a little bit of wine, but you realized after you'd been there that the bread and the cheese are a little stale. Fruit is a little soft. The wine is a bit watered down. And, apparently the priests are keeping the really good stuff for the senior clergy. And so, if you realize that more than a few members of the Brotherhood kind of take off a lot of their priestly vestments, and they head over to the Lucky Dragon of an evening to have a meal, knock back a couple of pints, and see if there's any entertainment to be had, and somebody invites you to go along with them if you want to.
Very friendly. Thank you very much for including me. Can't
Yes.
find him. Thank you very much for including. There we go.
Okay, so off they go. Now we have 4 characters there.
And the entertainment is pretty on me.
Oh,
Wait.
when the tavern owner sees you come in with that, he comes over. He's kind of a rotund fellow, hair thinning. He's a human. His name is what is his name? His name is yeah.
Sheikh Zula, the old schooler.
Yeah, there's just okay. I like this. His name is Tonio Coleman. Okay, so we're gonna say this is whoops. Innkeeper at Lucky Dragon is Antonio Coleman. All right, and I'll put that in Ivy's private message. And Tonio comes up to Ivy, or comes up to Belle, and says, "Oh, Miss, I'm so happy to see you come in. I could not help but notice the instrument on your back. We've had terrible luck with the entertainment the last few days. We had engaged a gentleman to play here, and he called himself Slimus the Shady, and he turned out to be very shady and not very slim. It seems that in addition to trying to bed three of my serving wenches on the first night, then on the second night he actually ran off with 100 gold worth of valuables belonging to some of the guests, and the constabulary is looking all over Baldur's Gate for him, but I'm afraid he's probably long gone. Anyway, you don't need to hear all about my sad story, but the point is, I'm wondering if you might be interested in performing for the common room this evening.
Well, your luck is in my service, because I am willing to help a little guy out.
Oh, wonderful. Well, of course for playing, if you play for 2 hours, your meal will be free. If you play for 4 hours, your meal and your drinks will be free. And if you play until everyone passes out or goes home, then your room will be free as well. And of course, if they give you any copper or silver or gold, you can keep that as well.
But there's no need to be so, like, what's the word? Shit. Easily to give out. What's the word?
Generous?
Yes. Well, there's no need to be so generous. You need all the money you could get, so don't worry about it too much.
Oh, no. Trust me. When there's music on the stage, it keeps them from fighting too much. When they fight too much, it breaks the furniture, and that costs me a lot of money. So, if they enjoy your playing, it's the least we can do to, we have all kinds come in here. We're a very popular inn here in Baldur's Gate, and you have all of the caravan drovers who are kind of a rough and surly lot. And then you have the dock workers that come in, and they are a rough and surly lot. And then sometimes you have those boys from the Temple of Tyr, and they all go on about justice, but you let someone raise their voice in anger, and they are very quick to ball up their fists and start punching just for the fun of it. So it's... if the music is good, then it keeps the rabble down.
Well, we can't have the rabble coming in. Like, I'll take care of that, no problem, sir.
Oh, wonderful.
From her chair after she finishes her fish, and then she goes and starts playing.
Okay, wonderful. Well, go ahead and do an initial performance check just to see how things go. How things get started. Now, your first performance check won't be okay.
Oops.
Okay. I'll presume that it was just being slow, and so you hit it twice.
No, I just clicked once and popped up twice. So.
Oh, okay. All right. A 10 is not bad. It's
I use my bardic inspiration.
Okay, now that's a good point. There's bardic inspiration and there's DM inspiration. A DM inspiration gives you a chance to roll another 20. A bardic inspiration actually gives you a die, and I think at first level it's like either a die for D6. And you just add that D6 to the roll. You don't re-roll another 20. So that is the difference. It is confusing because they use the same word inspiration for it. But yeah. So it's so it'd be just like if you were giving bardic inspiration to yourself, it would just be a d6 added to the 10 that you rolled. But a 10 is not bad. It's still kind of
I had to tune. I was on the road for so long. Come on.
Yeah, mid-afternoon and whatnot, and the crowd is a little sparse in there, and it's feels kind of like a friendly room at this point. And you're sort of getting the lay of the land, and there's a few people who seem into it. There's a human there's a human who might be a rogue. There's a human who has like a tool belt on, and then there's a person that walks in with a few clearly they're a group of people that are together, and you see a holy symbol on a couple of them just hanging around their necks. And there's one of them that comes in. He doesn't quite look human. You're not quite sure what he is, but he's he and the other two humans. They seem to really be digging the music, so they're enjoying it off the bat. All right. And then Chris.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go ahead and come to you. All right. So now, did you have a chance to do anything, roll scores, or do anything so far?
Yeah, I got everything completed. I have my backstory set. I'm using an old backstory that I kind of adapted for this campaign.
Oh, hey, that's fine.
So I wasn't sure how we were going to go about this, so I didn't flesh it out. I thought maybe we'd do that here. So,
well, it's kind of up to. I like leaving it up to people whether they have a strong idea and they want to fill things in themselves, or if they want to go through questionnaire style.
Well,
and
I have it all in my head. It's just what I pasted into my character sheet isn't going to give you all the information I think you might need or want. So I'm not sure how you want to go about it.
Okay. Well, do you have it pasted into a character sheet yet?
Yeah, it's there on Roll20.
Okay. And yours is Fro? Is that
Brock.
yours? Brock. Okay. 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 Oh, okay. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. Uh-oh. That's not good.
So basically the things I know that you're going to be wondering about probably, he was raised as a son to his father, the king.
Yes.
He and his father, his father told him this, but he's the only one that he told. He told him not to tell anybody else. So there's whisperings in the town or city, wondering, where did this boy come from? Why does he have such a close relationship? But Brock and him are the only ones that actually know. And yeah, basically at the end, I get ran out by my brother who's trying to kill me, sending assassins and mercenaries after me.
Nice. So
But my connection, the captain of the guard, was a close friend because I was in the guard, and he kind of snuck me out before it happened.
Yes. Well, okay. We are going to. I am going to go against convention because I sometimes like to do something unexpected, and I am going to award Chris inspiration for having the stones to make his rival be a prince. That's good. That's good. He's playing up the royal connection, but it's not in a way that's like, oh, look at me, I'm the special chosen one because I am the scion of royalty. It's like, no, the prince is trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when I go to the character sheet tab, I'm not seeing any. There we go. All right, just because I had the wrong tab open. All right, good. So there's the. Okay, scores came out pretty good. Good. Barbarian Brock. Okay, nice. We will do this. Is Brock and is half orc and half orc barbarians are very good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and embellish your backstory with a couple of other details. Your brother, Henry. I think that's right. Yes. Your brother, Henry, was something of a brat. He may not have been as bratty as Joffrey Baratheon.
You know what? I was just gonna say he's exactly who I had in mind when I wrote that.
Okay, all right.
Everybody hates him, and everyone loved Brock. It's kind of like that jealousy thing where that's why he did what he did.
Okay, so he is as bratty as Joffrey Baratheon, and he hung around with some pretty tough customers, and people who were rumored to be criminals, but who were very careful about what they did in the town so that it would never really run afoul of the king's laws. And so your father, Luther, was never able to really nail them with anything. But you did notice that a lot of them bore a very distinctive tattoo. And in talking with, talking with your friend, who is the captain of the guard, your friend indicated that tattoo identified them as being affiliated with something called the Cult of the Dragon. And the Cult of the Dragon, they venerate evil dragons, and they're bad news. And he was always afraid that Henry was going to come to a bad end from associating with people like that. And there was clear indication when your father was killed that Henry had help. And so you're sure that if he was helped, he was probably helped by these people that were members of the Cult of the Dragon. So, Henry obviously is after you, but now you feel like they've kind of stolen your birthright from you, this Cult of the Dragon. And that just doesn't sit well with you. And when you see, the face of your enemies in the firelight, you see this tattoo, and all right, these guys have got to go down. And rumors have reached your ears over the last few months that this Cult of the Dragon seems to be have a presence near or in Baldur's Gate. And so that brought you to Baldur's Gate. and you're when you got there, poking around led you to the merchant's quarter. You got there, you were accosted by our good friend Zafre Fernspark, and she offered you. She took one look at you, and there's something about the way that you carry yourself, because you were raised in a castle, so you don't have a pretension of being noble, but there's just something in your bearing that makes it look like you're used to commanding people, whether you ever had anybody under your command or not. And so she says that she needs a captain of the guard for this caravan that is leaving tomorrow, headed south. And the captain of the guard gets paid 3 gold a day. The guards get paid 2 gold a day, but the captain gets paid 3 gold a day. And she says that, she gives you a little bit of an itinerary of where that'll be going, and says if you need work, we would really appreciate having your commanding presence as part of this caravan. So would that be something you think that Brock would have any interest in?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Wow.
Oh, okay.
He nods and says he needs the coin. Also, question. Has news reached here of the Blackburns?
The Blackburns? No. Can't say that I've heard of them.
How long does word take to travel from insert kingdom name?
Oh, well, if it is, it depends on the speed of the rumor. The bad news usually travels swiftly, the good news a little bit slower, but who can say with the troubles in the land these days, the news may take longer than usual to get here. Why? What do you know? What has happened?
Apparently nothing important.
Ah, okay. And so she is she appreciates you signing on, and she tells you about the Lucky Dragon, and cheap rooms, good food, usually good entertainment. And as you head over there, and as you push open the doors, you do hear a jaunty tune being played by a tabaxi on a dulcimer. And the place is starting to fill up a little bit, and the music is pretty good. And there's a group of people over there that heraldry, and so part of knowing heraldry is the signs of all of the major churches. That's just kind of taught to you by your educators in the castle. And so you recognize, even though they're out of their full uniforms, there's a table over there where there's like about 3 or 4 members of the Church of Tyr. Then you see some people that have like the dust of the road on them, and they look kind of grizzled, rough and tumble. You would take those for caravan folk. And then you take some You see some other folks that have the way their pants are rolled up to their calves, and the calluses and stuff on their hands, and the way they are sunburned. You would take those as dock workers. And every now and then you notice that one table of the dock workers sort of looks over towards the caravan folks and maybe glares a little bit. And then the folks from the caravan will turn and look towards the dock workers and they'll glare a little bit. You kind of just have this sixth sense that, okay, this entertainer better be pretty good, or something might go down here a little bit later on this evening. All right, so I think we have 5 people in the Discord, 5 people in the Roll20, and we have done 5 characters. Okay, so now what I'm going to say is I'll give about let's have everybody go around and just sort of describe your character from what the others would see, since you guys are all kind of in the same place at the same time now. And we've kind of already gotten a little bit of a physical description from Ivy. She's a tabaxi, has a simple cloak on, and she's playing that dulcimer. Standing up. At first she was standing on her own table, and then the innkeeper sort of ushered her over to the little stage area at the front of the common room. And since then she's been there performing with, the occasional break to have a cup of ale, and people come up and toss a few coppers into her open dulcimer case. All right, and since you've been playing for a while, Ivy, why don't you go ahead and give me another performance check, and then we'll start going around the room and seeing how the other characters describe
Can't you set 20 from earlier? Come on.
Well,
How we roll.
yeah, I think we need to.
And if I can find it.
Okay.
Why? Why does it keep on double clicking?
I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's set to it's not acting like it's set to roll advantage or disadvantage, but
That time when I did it, I only clicked once.
okay.
No.
Well, 13, yeah. 13 is okay. It's 13 is better music than a lot of these people hear most of the time, because they hear some lout on their lunch break trying to play an out-of-tune whistle, or someone singing off-key while they're banging the side of a wagon, not keeping time very well. So 13 is a pretty good performance, actually.
Woo.
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to go across the row on my screen in a Roll20.
I'm gonna stab you.
Go Ace!
Mulek, what would the others see when they see Mulek sitting there? How is Mulek dressed?
Yeah, Mulek's he's wearing some, mediocre scale mail, not very fancy clothes. He's got a hood over his head that apparently doesn't really do anything, but he knows he's on the run, but also looking for someone that could be powerful. So he's also far from home. So he's kind of sitting by himself, a little nervous, just kind of looking around, wondering what he got himself into, and out here feeling like he's alone, got no friends, and he's just kind of studying. He's taking notes or looking at notes. So he's just kind of trying to study up, but he pretty much just keeps himself. He's about 30 years old.
Okay.
Medium build.
Okay. Chris, what does Brock look like?
Brock is not your ordinary half-orc or orc for that matter. His stature is about equal to a tall man. He's about 6'5", lean, very firm, long black hair tied back into a samurai ponytail, bright yellow eyes, short orcish nose, pointy ears. Just wearing traveler's clothes at the moment.
Okay. All right. Fair to say that for people who know, he just walks around like his normal way of walking around is like he walks around in a castle, which is to say very different from the normal way of walking around if you grew up in a peasant's hovel. Would that be fair to say, or does he try to blend in? Does he purposely try to blend in with what's around him?
He definitely carries a certain air that says he's not normal, but he is definitely humble, and if approached or talked to, you can tell that immediately. So,
okay, all right, yeah. So, you guys definitely notice this when this very tall, very svelte half-orc walks in. It catches your eye, and just sort of standing there, he kind of radiates a presence, but looking at the expression on his face, it's not like he's looking down at anybody. That's just who he is, if you will. All right. Would he go sit at a table by himself, or would he go find where maybe there's one or two other people at a table and, one of those bench tables and sit down?
Living a life in the guard, I think he'd noticed what you said earlier about the dock and the caravan. He'd probably try to position himself somewhere in between in case something does happen. He could intervene.
Okay. Yeah. As you notice the layout of the room, whether it was by happenstance, and you probably think it wasn't. You probably think they got there later and chose their place on purpose. But the group of clergy from Tyr, they're kind of almost equidistant between the two groups, the dock workers and the caravanners. But there's like a table next to them or nearby them that, you could easily sit at and be not too far away from those guys.
Yeah, I'll take a seat and order a water.
Okay. All right. So the innkeeper will bring you a water, and the serving maids will come around to all of you, and for those of you who inquire, full meal is 2 silver. That includes a loaf of bread, a stew, or a fish dinner, which tonight they do have the deep fried fish with the chips. Yes, fish and chips, and the and there's also like a half of a chicken is one of the other meals that's on the menu, and all those have some sort of vegetable accompaniment with them. And then that also gets you, in addition to the bread and the main meal, it also gets you a dessert, which is either a cherry cobbler or a piece of apple pie is what they have for the dessert. And it's kind of a rustic sort of cobbler and a rustic sort of a pie, if you will. But those are the offerings. And then, of course, he has ale. He has wine. He does have spirits for those who are interested in it. Water comes with the meal. An ale is 1 silver for a tankard, or 5 silver for all the ale you can drink. The wine is 2 silver for a glass, or a gold piece for a bottle. And then the spirits depends on what you want. That starts at 3 silver for a cup, and it goes all the way up to 10 gold for a whole bottle of the really fancy stuff. And that stuff is also, it's guaranteed to leave your head ringing in the morning. The really fancy stuff is. And the rooms are 5 silver for a private room, 2 silver for a bed in a room with 1 or 2 other people, or you can, for 5 copper, you can sleep on a cot in what they call their dormitory room, or one of several dormitory rooms, which are rooms that are set up with about anywhere from 12 to 15 cots each. And you just go in there, you find an empty cot, you plop down, and you sleep, and you have to put up with all the night noises of people snoring around you. So those are your options for staying there. And you don't have to tell me which ones you want, but that's kind of what they have there at the Lucky Dragon. So that takes us to Vernon. So Osprey, what would folks see? You came there with some other members of the priesthood. Would you be wearing your more formal attire, or would you have sort of loosened up a little bit?
Osprey is looser.
Okay.
He is not unlike what I've got as a picture. That it's one of his normal. Okay. One of his normal ways of dressing is that flashy kind of plastic way. He is not too concerned with what is going on because he doesn't seem to notice it, as he is smiling and singing along and making eye contact. And if somebody is staring at him, he gives them a hand signal because he thinks he knows why they're looking at him. He's only 5'6", but he's got a lot of show muscle, and he's got a lot of poise in his walk. And his hair just kind of stays in that unlikely position that you see there.
Okay. So now, when you, so is he is he one of these shorter gentlemen that has what we might call in the 21st century a Napoleon complex? Or is okay?
There's no there is no. It's always a good feeling. It's always a good feeling. He's a known person to anybody that has seen racing, has seen this charismatic.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's kind of like, oh, yeah.
That's
Hey,
why.
how's it going? Yeah.
Especially after I called him out.
Yeah. Right, she already called him out, and amongst the jockeys and the racers, he is both the pretty face and the fair player guy. So he's the nice looking guy with a good reputation for those that know the racing world.
Okay. All right.
And he is always so kind of immune to tensions that are going on in the room. And in fact, he probably has actually smiled at somebody who was staring angrily at him or glaring at him.
Okay.
Let us see. 5'6", the clothing, the charisma, the energy. Yeah, love and energy. I think I got about that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Everything goes along fine for a while, and you give your typical sort of nice to see you, that kind of look to several people. And then you notice at one point that every time your gaze drifts over towards the dock workers, you notice that they seem a little more tense now. And there are a number of mugs that have started to pile up there, and when the serving maids come by, it's usually 2 serving maids coming by, one to bring a fresh round to their table, and one to clear away the mugs that they have, because it seems like every time they bring one round, there's like 2 rounds worth of mugs to clear away, and that it's just like, okay, now how does that happen? But these guys are clearly coming out to get drunk, and when dock workers get drunk, who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, you kind of notice that out of the corner of your eye. So that
no, he would never think that somebody would do something bad automatically.
Yeah.
It's like, these guys drink a lot.
Yeah, basically. All right, and Michael, what would people notice about Baldur upon seeing him?
Mic's off.
Oh. I think
Maybe away.
Okay. Well, then let me do this. Let me send him a. You're still around. Looking for self-descriptions of what the others see about your character in the tavern. Okay. Yeah, because of the asynchronous nature of the evening, we haven't really taken a break, so he may have needed to step away for a minute. I sent him a PM just in case he's got busy doing something else. All right, so we will get a description from him later on. in the meantime, everybody give me a perception check.
Go Ace.
Okay, good. All right. Mulek is a little self-conscious and a little nervous. So he's the only one that doesn't notice. But Brock, Osprey, and Bell, all at the same time, the three of you notice that there's that a voice gets raised a little bit, and not in shouting out where everybody in the tavern would hear it, but kind of more raised in talking to the folks at their table from the dock workers. There is one of the brawny looking dock workers that is pointing a meaty finger across the bar towards the the tables where the caravanners are sitting. And the three of you hear distinctly the phrase, "That guy still owes me money. I don't plan to leave until I get it from him. He'll either pay me or I'll take it out of his hide."
Is he making any moves to move towards him?
At the moment, it seems like his companion's like, whoa, chief, and just sort of trying to talk him down a little bit. But he's clearly, the way his face is red, it's like you can tell that the alcohol's really getting to him. And he's showing all the classic signs of what you would say is a mean drunk. And Belle, it's probably about time for a performance check.
Oh.
Oh!
Yay! Finally in the 20s!
All right. So, sensing the tension in the room, Belle goes into a reel. She starts playing a reel, and there's this rhythmic thumping of mugs on the tables and the slap of boots on the floor. And it's a song that is popular in Baldur's Gate, and you start hearing from different tables, including from the drovers or the caravanners table and from the dock workers table. You hear the sound of off-key singing rising from those tables, and they clearly are really enjoying this. And so you guys also, those of you who actually, even the 14 that Mulek rolled, that's good enough to tell that when the crowd starts reacting that way, a smile grows on the face of the innkeeper, and he seems like very jolly as he's polishing the glass that he has in his hand. And he's just sort of he gets absentmindedly stops and he starts tapping his hand on the bar, while he's caught up in the music along with all of his patrons. So, very good, Ivy.
Yeah. You know what? Shine through what I needed it the most.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, and some of that off-key singing is coming from the group of tier clergy over there. That one guy that was singing really well, he's having a little bit trouble finding the tune on this one. Maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe he's had too much to drink.
I don't know this one.
Yep. Yeah, it shows that you ain't from around here. All right. Well, time passes, and the what seemed like it might grow into a tense situation between the dock workers and the caravanners, the music sort of soothes that out, and whatever ember was trying to flare to life just seems to eventually get drowned in enough ale that everybody is more concerned about going off and finding their beds than they are about punching each other's lights out. And so we will we're not gonna quite end the session here, but we are close to that. There's something I want to give you all. I need to go over here to this. My channel. Okay. My videos. Okay, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Oh, now what's the... library. No, okay. The hell is studio? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Videos. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. I'm going to change this to public. Okay. Publish it. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to go back to my channel. I am going to go to these videos. And I am going to... Oh, shoot. Copy link address. Now, for the benefit of you all in the Discord, I'm going to put a link to a YouTube video that I recorded in here, and I'm going to let each of you listen to it or watch it in Discord. And then for the benefit of the stream, I am going to go on the stream and I am going to go to this, to my YouTube channel, and I am going to play this for the stream. So the stream will get to see it, and you guys can see it on your own. And if you are on the stream, if you're trying to do both, you might get an echo, but a bond. And now I'm here tonight to tell you a story. A story that starts a new campaign that my group on Thursday night will begin as soon as they finish character creation. This is a story that I will share with them and with you at the same time. It's an ancient story that long predates our game, but it sets the scene and the background. Let us begin. The seeds of our adventure were planted long ago, before the Icewind Dale lent its marking of time to the numbering of years, and before Haptos compiled the various legends and observations and festivals and seasons into the calendar we know and love today in Faerun. Yes, our story begins in the days when the Empire of Netheril was young, and when its greatest scholars and wisest sages were first beginning to tinker with magic. In those days, the elves still considered themselves the stewards of the other sentient races, and the youngest and most fruitful of them, humankind, had barely awakened from the slumber of the clay they had been before the gods shaped them into beings and breathed life into them. Among the Netheril, there lived a sorcerer. Ever questing for knowledge, he had sought out every scrap of parchment and every ancient vellum scroll he could find from the tomes of long-dead dwarven kings and tumbled-down elven strongholds all across the face of the world. He knew the drive for this unquenchable thirst for knowledge came from the divine spark that fueled his sorcerer's magic. It bade him, prodded him, goaded him, and drove him with a feverish madness to find every secret that had ever been buried and hoard it for himself. Loral of Imlock, the voice whispered to him one day, "You have done well. Travel to Jixidor, and I will reward your diligent search for knowledge." Even before the voice finished, Loral had started to rise, gathering his scrolls and possessions and beginning the trek to the enclave his god had indicated. When he arrived at the place, he sought an audience with the king, but he was turned away. He begged and he pleaded until at last the palace guards grew rough with him. They beat Loral senseless and dragged him to the center of town and threw him in the street next to the pauper's well, the place where the poor came to fill their jugs and buckets and water skins for their families and their animals. Bleeding and half dead, Loral of Imlock lay in the dust of the street as the hot afternoon sun beat down and baked his skin. The guards threw down his possessions, including his scrolls and his gold, and the folk of the town scavenged them, taking them to sell for coin. By the time the sun began to dip below the horizon, all of Loral's possessions were gone, and he had been stripped to a loincloth, and feral dogs came to lick the still oozing wounds that the soldiers from the palace had given him earlier in the day. And then a beautiful girl came to the well. Loral was senseless and could hardly appreciate her beauty, as to his eyes she was just a hazy form that swam in the dusty air. "Water," he tried to croak, but what came out was a weak groan of pain, since the beating by the guards had broken his jaw and crushed his throat. And the girl took pity on him. She came to the well every night. Normally she came and waited until she saw the most wretched and impoverished mother she had seen all day come to draw water. And the girl would draw the water for the woman, and when she handed the woman's bucket or vessel back to her, she would be sure to slip a gold coin or two to help the pauper. For the girl was named Casethri, and she was the princess of Jixidor, daughter of its king, whose name time has forgotten because of his wicked ways and his cruelty towards his people. Casethri was not like her father. She was kind-hearted, and when she saw the beaten man by the well, her heart had pity on him. She banged on the doors of shops lining the square, and she begged and she pleaded until several men and women came to help her take the man to an inn, where she paid for his room and sent for a healer to come tend his wounds. Eventually Laral recovered, and Casethri remained a friend to him. But he was old, and his nose and his jaw did not heal cleanly, and his visage was terrifying to the princess, so she could never love him. But she talked to him, and as he grew stronger, she asked his name. He tried to tell her, but his shattered jaw made speech difficult, and the name she repeated back to him was not Laral of Imlach, but Larlach. Laral found he liked the name when it was caressed by the lips of the princess, and he found that he loved her. He was convinced that her love was the gift his god had promised him if he would but come to this city. Larlach, for he began to use the name given to him by the princess, was clever, and he quickly showed that he was adept with sorcery and began to earn coin by helping the people whom Casethri had first recruited to shelter him and tend his wounds. Within a few months, Larlach had enough coin to lease a small shop that he could use as a laboratory with a meager dwelling above it. And within a year, he had earned enough money that he had been able to track down and buy back all the scrolls that had been stolen from him by the poor on the day he was beaten and left for dead by the well. For a time he was happy. He wooed the princess, encouraged by her unceasing visits, and certain that with the right words or the perfect thoughtful gift he could win her heart. But as the first anniversary of his arrival in Jixidor approached, and he instead saw the princess in the company of young suitors from noble families in the town, his heart began to break, and it started to turn black. That's when his patron spoke to him again. "Her love is not the gift I promised you, Larlach," the voice told him, its tone mocking the name that he had chosen for himself. "Not her love, but she herself will be the price you pay for the gift I have promised you." He was instructed to study one of the scrolls he had recently bought back from a merchant, one he had previously been unable to decipher. But now, after more study, he found that its meaning became clear to him. It was a ritual of summoning, to call forth a Baldur from the pits of hell. The Baldur are powerful demons, some so powerful they rule levels of the abyss. As Larlach studied the ritual, he realized suddenly what the voice meant, and that he would have to act quickly. One of the components of the ritual of summoning was a single drop of virgin's blood. Quickly, feverishly, Larlach prepared his laboratory for the ritual of summoning. He wanted it ready for the next time he saw the princess and could invite her to have a cup of tea and talk. The next day the princess came, and he gave her tea with lots of honey just as she liked, which also masked the taste of the herbs that would make her woozy. When she swooned, he carefully placed her as instructed, just so, inside the summoning circle, and he pricked the tip of her finger with a pin, drawing forth a single precious drop of her unsoiled blood. He burned the incense, chanted the arcane words of power, and cast the other components into the carefully fashioned circle. Great plumes of smoke billowed up, and in the middle of it stood the creature that the ritual promised. Tarnhem, the Balor ruler of the Noisome Vale, the 498th plane of the abyss. Fury burned in the eyes of the 12-foot-tall demon, and it spread its wings menacingly, ready to thrust an accusing finger at the sorcerer, until its eyes fell on the unconscious form of the princess before it. Then a wicked grin crept onto the face of the demon. "Such an offering you give me, mortal," the demon said softly. "What is thy bidding?" From the moment he knew that the princess would be a sacrifice in this ritual, Larlock knew what he would ask of the demon. Revenge. "I want the throne of Jixidor," he said. "Done," the demon replied. Then it threw itself down over the form of the girl, its great bat-like wings giving privacy for the foul deed it perpetrated. But nothing could shield Larlock's ears from the demon's bestial grunts, or the terrible screams of horror and pain that were ripped from Kessethri's throat as the demon ravished her with bestial brutality. When it was done, the demon simply vanished. The princess lay senseless, bruised and bleeding, and Larlock covered her with a blanket before leaving, never to return to his workshop again. Instead, he began walking toward the palace. As he approached, he first heard a commotion. Then he heard the horns and bells of alarm from the walls of the palace. Men and horses screamed as they died, and all who dared face the mighty Balor as it rampaged through the halls and the yards and the chambers of the palace were cut down with weapons forged from searing fire. When Larlock entered the throne room, he saw he was not too late. The king and queen were still alive, surrounded by a tight ring of their most loyal and stout-hearted bodyguards. Sensing the sorcerer's arrival, the mighty Tarnhem waded into the rings of defenders and cut them down, even as Larlock moved to protect cowering servants and stood before them, shouting nonsense arcane syllables and causing harmless sparks to fly from his fingertips toward the demon. The Balor seemed to enjoy the ruse. "You cannot stop me, wizard," it bellowed, looking at Larlock. "You are too late and too weak to save the wretched fool that has crossed me." The servants gasped, and some of the guards wavered, looking at their king with sudden suspicions. Finally, the Balor reached out two clawed hands and grasped king and queen tightly, piercing their flesh with burning hot fingernails that were sharp as tiger's claws. As the light of life began to dim in the king's eyes, the demon delivered one final insult. "Your life is ended, but not your line. My seed has been planted in fertile soil and will grow to become your grandchild." Screams of horror rose from the throats of the king and queen as they died, and another voice, rising in power and convincing all the mortals who still drew breath of its earnestness, bellowed from Larlock, "Begone, foul demon! I send you back to the hells from whence you came!" And a jet of black energy shot out toward the creature. The demon contorted its face as though in agony and cried out in mock terror as the portal drew it back into the abyss, sated from an afternoon of blissful mayhem. When Casethri awoke from her stupor, her mind was shattered, and she was terrified. She ran as far from Jixidor as she could, and the grateful people of the city raised Larlock to the throne for banishing the demon that had come seeking revenge on their old king. Larlock went on to become the first, and some say the most powerful, of all the sorcerer kings of Netherill's long history. History does not remember where Casethri finally stopped running, only that it was a village where she was unknown to anyone, and the memory of the horror of her ordeal could not reach her, or so she thought. 10 years went by, and the son she bore, Al-Asen Ekar Erak, grew strong, handsome, clever, and full of mischief. When he was 10, his own spark of magic first manifested, and a prank that amused his friends by scalding the tail of a neighbor's dog soon turned into an angry mob that surrounded Casethri's home with her and her child inside. "Devil spawn!" they shouted, and they accused the woman of witchcraft and of causing crops to fail and cattle to die and drought to parch the land. They nailed barricades across the doors and the windows of the house, and they set it ablaze, and they all stood outside and chanted and cheered as they heard the screams of the woman and her child as the inferno raged and the fire took them. But they failed to comb through the ashes until the following morning. They found a few fragments of bone, of course, but they had no way of knowing that the only remains were those of the mother. The flames could not touch her son. At first, he panicked and screamed along with his mother. But then when he realized the fire could not hurt him, he took on a look of wonder and fascination as he watched his mother burn alive before him. The way her skin sizzled and popped was almost funny, and the terror and agony in her eyes was something delightful to behold. But as the flames died away, Al-Asen Ekar Erak realized he wanted to be away from this place. There was a whole world to explore, and he wanted to see it all. Soon, however, he experienced the pangs of loneliness, and the loneliness gave him a purpose. The town where his mother had settled was populated by humans. She had been his only true friend, his only real confidant, and the only one who had really loved him. And they had taken her from him. Humans had. And humans would pay for his loss. All of them would. All right. So that's a little bit of a ancient prequel to our game. Something that happened long ago in the Sword Coast. And just to kind of give you a little bit of flavor of the fact that people have been being crappy to each other in this part of the world for thousands and thousands of years. So all of the stuff that's going on now is a continuation of stuff that's happened before, but it still is kind of unusual. And some of what we heard in that backstory will be part of his foreshadowing for stuff that we will see later on in the campaign. So, all right. Hey, stream. Thank you. Glad you guys liked it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our session tonight, unless you have any questions. Like I said, I worked with Ken to get a lot of the details of his character done the other night. I'm going to see if we can't get things done with Wesley before next Thursday. And if we can, and we can get his character all set up between now and then next Thursday we can go ahead and have our session 1 and get the campaign underway. So any questions before we call it a day?
I do have one mechanical question.
Okay.
I was going more for a tank build, sword and shield. Is there any way I could trade my hand axes, which are worth 10 GP, 5 apiece, and pay my 10 GP for my background to buy those?
Okay. Let me just double check with a barbarian. Not in some editions of the game. Okay, yeah. This does allow you to have shields. Yeah. Yes, you can. You can, as long as it's the same price, or we'll say as long as it doesn't cost too much more, you can trade.
It actually comes out perfectly even.
Okay, then that's fine. Yeah, you can do
awesome.
that.
Thank you.
There is a question because there was confusion about starting with items.
Yes. So, your characters, based on what I have approved, your characters can start with as much as, or as many as 2 potions, 1 common magic item, and 1 uncommon magic item. So if there were things that Finn had, or if Finn would have the money that somehow would have been passed down to this character through some way, that's where I'm saying that would have come from. And that's one reason why I would allow you guys to have your original character as part of the backstory, because then you could have kind of like heirloom stuff that you would be able to use, that you'd be able to access. Doesn't mean you have to, and if you choose not to, you can just say maybe take the gold piece equivalent and start with more gold.
Okay, for them to be items, do they have to be of the heirloom variety?
Well, when I use the term heirloom, I mean like something passed down. One of the party members very specifically said, "Oh, this was an item that belonged to my character in the other game, and this is how he passed it down to the other." I don't mean heirloom in the fact that it's just more. It's
rather to the point. I didn't set up Finn and Osprey to be from the same walk.
Okay.
Finn is like sees Osprey because Finn went into racing, which is the thing a few weeks ago when my microphone cut out. That's how I was going to bring in that thing over at Falcon.
Okay.
So he ended up sponsoring Osprey's enemy. So Finn is aware of Osprey, but there's no way for Finn to send Osprey items.
Okay, then maybe if Finn was somehow sponsoring Osprey's rival, maybe Finn made a big bet at some time and lost a big amount of money, and so that's just money that Osprey has because of so that's what I mean. Like, if you don't want to take items or there's not a real good story reason, well, then you can just have that extra gold to start with.
Okay, so started in gold. So don't find items, find gold equivalent.
Yeah, kind of like gold piece value. And when I say gold piece value, it can be actual coin, or if you think coin is too much too bulky to carry around, he might have, some various gemstones that add up to the gold piece value. He might have one or two that are larger and then a few that are smaller, so that he can break them up into, into coins of whatever size he needs at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Any other questions?
So the items we get don't have to be passed down. Like, it could be just things they have.
Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to. And Finn or Vern, that goes for you. If you think that Osprey would have gotten this money earlier and would have already converted it into items, then he could do that. So it's up. Yeah,
that's a different way. Okay, because the background that I did is one that would produce items.
Okay,
but it wouldn't produce items from Finn. That was
correct.
My specific version of that question, but there are probably many varieties of that question.
Yeah. So basically, it's just like, instead of the normal, whatever it is, I think most people just picked the starting equipment, and it gives you a handful of gold left over. Instead of that, you can say, oh, okay, well, what are a couple of potions worth? What's a common magic item worth? What's an uncommon magic item worth? Okay, that's a pool of money, and you go and buy some of those. But somebody did ask about a lot of different things, and I told them no on several of them, because while they were legitimate things that character could in fact have inherited, it was just a bit much for a first level character.
So the question was amount.
The question was amount. So yeah, 2 potions, 1 common magic item, and 1 uncommon magic item
is the amount. Okay.
Is the amount. Or the gold equivalent thereof. I mean, if you can only think of 1 uncommon item and you can't think of what else you would want, then just convert the rest of it to gold. Yeah,
wait, are you saying that we actually just get free items, or we have to buy them?
I'm saying that one of the benefits that, at least in my mind, and may have been in individual conversations when people actually asked me, as opposed to in group, but I thought I had mentioned it sometime in the to the entire group, that one of the benefits of having the potential of your old character being one of your contacts is that that would be a way for your old character to pass items to your new character, so that your new character would start with a little bit more than a normal first level character. And as Finn said, the way he wrote his background, there was really no way for his new character and his old character to have met. So the alternative to that is, well, the maximum that could have been passed is one uncommon item, one common item, and 2 potions. So figure out an average, maybe I should figure out an average gold piece value for that. And then you either can have that in gold or you can do this. So let me go and do this while I'm thinking of it right now. Game rules, magic item, or no. Sources, DM's guide. Treasure, magic items. Okay. So we will say I'm gonna do so 75 plus, let's say 300. Okay. So your budget would be 600 gold pieces, basically. That's allowing for that's allowing for 70 or for 100 gold for each potion, 75 gold for a common magic item, and then 325 gold for an uncommon item. And in case you're wondering, those are all just pretty much down the middle of the range that those items would run you. And of course, the potions have to be common or uncommon items. And that has to do with the fact that since you're tier 1 characters, you don't have access to magic items that are rare or higher.
The silence to hear right now is probably a bunch of people looking things up.
Yeah.
Maybe. Never
Gal-
admit to it.
Galvan, I just sent you a message because I misunderstood, I think, part of our discussion. So just look at what I sent you and just confirm if I need to remove more of the items that you had, what I thought I was initially getting.
Okay.
Okay, I can. I'll just keep that in the back.
Okay. All right. Yes, that would be fine. Ivy, that would be.
Now time to figure out how to add that to my character sheet.
Yeah, in D&D Beyond, it should be pretty easy because if you go to the equipment,
Then
yeah, and then add equipment, because this campaign is sharing all the stuff, then all the magic items should be in there. So you should be able to find those.
I just had an interesting idea. What if there was an item that appears and we don't know why?
and then it's just tier 1 potions of healing, right? Just normal ones.
Oh, someone needs to wind him up.
Let's.
Somebody needs a
Uh,
oil can.
yeah. Let me do this. I want to go up here. Oh. Oh, come on. Dadgummit. Yeah, you could get you could have as one of the items either the tier 1 or the tier 2 potion of healing. Because the tier 2 potion of healing is an uncommon item.
So 1 tier 2 or 2 tier 1s?
No. 2 potions. For you guys starting off at first level, a tier 1, just a plain vanilla potion of healing, a common item, that's probably going to be sufficient for most of your needs. Now, there was a specific character that had a specific tier 2 potion of healing left over and wanted to pass it along. And I said, yes, because it's an uncommon item, you could do that. Even though it's kind of overkill for a level 1 character, but that's fine. That player is fine with using that overkill for the extra healing.
Okay.
Looks like I need to figure out how to obtain another pair of goggles of night vision because I'm the only one that cannot see in the dark.
I can see in the dark, thank you.
I know you can. I can't.
Vern, was there a question that's coming out of your scheming, or are you still trying to
I'm just
figure
being
out
a little mischievous with what you're giving me here.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I decided to bring I decided to do something kind of fun. To bring out something from the past, but not have the reason why it's there. And what item would I do that with? The Staff of Bird Calls.
Oh, of course.
You're gonna make me chase birds, really?
Let's see what we can do with this. And it'll be somehow the link to the sinister Baldur by the time we're done with it.
Many birds gonna die.
What else would Osprey have, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. I just put a note in the general chat in Discord for people that are not here tonight.
Regarding
Regarding the items or the budget. So I'm sure Ken and Wesley will have questions about that.
Yeah, we did. We ran over that, and I was like, he's giving us items, but he connected it to the idea of inheriting, and I don't think that's what he actually meant. I think we're going to end up getting items of some kind. Because it didn't sound like he meant it exclusively to be that.
Well, yeah.
It was where the idea originally came from, though.
That's where the idea originally came from. And then, like you say, if you made it exclusively an inheritance type of thing, well, then it would paint you into a corner of, well, I have to create a character that's connected somehow to these other characters. And I realized, well, I didn't want to paint you into that corner. So there has to be some allowance for, in the case of a character like yours, in the case of a character like Ivy's, if there's not a direct link to the previous character, not a family connection or some kind of other close link, then how would they get? And I guess Chris is the same way. Chris doesn't have a firm link to L.
Yeah, I'm still kind of confused. So if you're not inheriting them, then how do we go about?
Well, in your case, you can easily explain it. You know, you grew up in a castle, so yeah. I mean, you probably had an allowance. You know, you and Henry were probably each given an allowance growing up, and Henry was probably the kind that went and squandered it on buying booze with his disreputable friends, and maybe as he got a little older, spending it on ladies in the houses where they will be your friend for money, and Brock probably was, I can do something with this someday, and probably saved most of it away. And so when he had to flee, he had this nice little nest egg that he could flee with. And
so it doesn't have to be from L.
No, it doesn't have to be from L.
Okay, that's where I was confused. Got it.
Yeah. It was the original idea was because you could use because I allowed it, didn't require it, but I allowed you to use your character from the previous game as one of your 3 contacts. It would make sense if you made strong use of that if that was an important contact, then there might be a relationship there where they would have passed things along as an inheritance, or if not an inheritance, saying, okay, well, my adventuring days are done. You're ready to go hit the road now.
Hello.
Yeah.
we are.
Hey.
So I have a question, because like a bag of holding falls under
still here
uncommon item.
Yep.
Is that so?
Yep.
If I didn't want one of the other items, I could get a bag of holding.
You could trade out an uncommon item for a bag of holding. Yes.
Now, are you limiting it to the minor item uncommon? Because there's major item uncommons that have they're kind of powerful.
Send me a link to something that you're thinking of might be too powerful, and let me see what you're talking about.
Well, they're all wondrous. Yeah, they're all
wondrous.
Yeah. Okay. Wondrous items probably those would be a little bit out of.
So probably keep within the minor item. I'm just looking under D&D Beyond under the minor items uncommon. Of course, a bag of holding is a wondrous item too.
Well.
So now.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Cute.
Because like goggles of night are a wondrous item. So I just
Uncommon.
Have to give up my bag of holding?
No. He's
well, I was like thinking, if we're not limiting people,
the more he talks, the
more confused everybody
more
else
confused
becomes.
everybody else gets.
Well, then I'm glad that I couldn't hear anyone.
well,
Like,
I was limiting to anything that Benedum had, but now if it's like wide open, I'm like thinking, well, I could get things that would probably be more helpful for me, but.
well, you still have that story to tell too.
Yeah, that's not mutually exclusive. Because there were many years and Benedum didn't just sit there forever and do nothing.
Right.
So there can still be a source.
Right. I would have just changed probably what I had received.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So now I'm kind of interested in where you're seeing. You keep talking about this miner, and I don't.
Oh,
really
it's under it's under Xanthar's Guide to Everything, Chapter 2, Magic Items Table.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not. Yeah, that's not where to look. Where to look is go back to the main page of D&D Beyond. Go to Game Rules. And then under Game Rules, go over and click on Magic Items.
Okay.
And then under Rarity, filter the Rarity to Uncommon.
Okay. Rarity, Uncommon. Gotcha.
Okay. Now, what...
so Bag of Holding is still in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, also, you notice that under its notes or its tags, it says it's a utility item. It's a container. So, basically all a Bag of Holding does is it means that, if you were in a video game, it would mean that you wouldn't have to run to the bank as often because you can carry more crap around. That's really all a Bag of Holding does. It's not a thing that gives you, a bunch of super powerful things.
No, yeah, I understand what a Bag of Holding is. It allows you to put more crap in it and not have to worry about, having a cart pulled by an ox or something up to a certain pounds, right? So.
Yeah. So I don't really, if there's anything that you look at and you think, ooh, that might be too powerful as an uncommon item, then that's what I would say. Let me know.
Yes.
If you're considering taking it. Because like you say, those goggles of night would fall under that.
I would probably take one of those because I have no night vision at all, unless there's a way for me to obtain those another way, being an artificer, but I don't know of any.
Let's see, artificer. When do you have a chance to start creating stuff?
Well, I'm only staying as level 1, so I don't think I won't be able to create it.
How do you see the values of the items?
They're in D&D 5e. They give you a range, and they say that magic items of a certain rarity have a certain range. So, common magic items cost somewhere between 50 gold and 100 gold, and they put it on the DM to come up with the actual price. Uncommon items are anywhere from 101 gold to 500 gold. And then the caveat with potions is that potions are half of the price of a regular item because they're consumable. A potion is a one-shot item, basically. Well, whereas like a sword, that would be an uncommon item. You use that sword every time you fight. So it's going to be a little on the more expensive end.
And this is cool because I can now bring in an item from the enemy.
Okay.
Actually, it's not even in the anime. It's only in the manga of this. Yeah, I don't think it actually exists. Or no, it's not given its name in the anime. Right.
Oh. Somebody's saying whoever has hiccups. Goonie is saying eat peanut butter.
Peanut butter? Okay, I'll go get my peanut butter. I can't find my peanut butter. This is sad life now. There it is.
She says just a spoonful is all you need.
A midnight snack? Peanut butter really hits the spot, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait, protein. That's a good one.
It's almost in the middle of your kitchen eating peanut butter at 12 o'clock at night, right?
Try doing it during a hurricane.
So they have winged
No,
boots.
I might know that one.
You could fly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good shit.
There's like crazy stuff in here.
Yeah.
You've opened a can of worms, Galabon.
Okay.
A little. I ended up with the broom of flying, which is similar, but
Interesting.
Cloak of protection.
Yeah, there is a lot. I mean, this is some good stuff.
But of course, I'm limiting you to one, so you can't get all of it.
I would have to
oh
give
God,
up,
what have I done?
I'd have to give up my sending stone.
Okay, Goonie, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for now.
I thought you did.
Thank you guys for stopping by and joining us tonight. We will see you next week.